Gather round, friends, for tonight I have a tale, one of war, of blood, and of a land that never bent. It's the story of a place that knew peace long before the sound of steel on steel echoed through its mountains. This is the story of a land at war, of heroes, of betrayal, of sacrifice. It is a tale of a people who fought to protect their way of life, and the price they paid when the storm of Noxian ambition came crashing down upon their shores. This is the story of the Noxian Invasion of Ionia. It began with ambition, the kind that sees no boundary and desires to take whatever it touches. The empire of Noxus, led by General Swain, had long sought to expand its reach, but they were not interested in Ionia for its fertile lands or its resources. They wanted its ancient secrets. They had learned of the spirit blossoms, a source of unimaginable power tied to the soul of the land itself. Noxus had learned to covet this magic, and it would stop at nothing to claim it. Swain, ever the strategist, saw an opportunity to crush Ionia's defenses and take control of this land that had remained untouched by the bloodshed of the world. A single swift campaign, nothing more than a necessary conquest.
I remember the day the first warships appeared on the horizon. I was training, just as I had for years. The blades that ran through my hands an extension of myself. The winds were light, and the air smelled of blossoms and damp earth. But all of it changed in an instant. The sails of the Noxian ships were too many. They blotted out the sun as they approached. The land of Ionia, which had always been so peaceful, was about to see the face of war. I called out to my family, but there was no time to prepare. I rushed to the training grounds, where our blades were sharpened, ready for use. I heard Shen, the Eye of Twilight, chanting ancient incantations as he prepared for battle. Kennen had already called for our people to rally, the electricity crackling in his hands, his eyes wild with urgency. "We will not let them take our land," Shen said. His voice was calm, steady, as always. But I knew, as we all did, that this was different. Ionia had never faced an enemy like this before.
The Noxians struck quickly, overwhelming coastal defenses with ease. The war came to Ionia like a tide, and it began with brutality. They took no prisoners, pushed forward with little mercy, and showed the Ionian people the cruelty of conquest. But what the Noxians failed to grasp was that Ionia would not fall without a fight.
The Ionian people are fools, thinking that their precious land will defend them. The reports came in, the resistance was forming. Shen, Irelia, Kennen, they were rallying the people as I had expected, but their effort was meaningless. Ionia was fragile, its people were fractured in their beliefs. The only thing I needed was the magic hidden beneath the surface, the power of the spirit blossoms. I watched as the battlefield unfolded. I could hear their voices as they cried out in defiance, but I had no sympathy. "Give them nothing." I barked to my generals. "They will be crushed beneath the weight of Noxus." I did not need to crush every warrior. I needed to claim the heart of Ionia, the land's soul. Once I controlled that, I would control everything.
We fought in the shadows, in the open fields, wherever we could. Every day, the sound of battle grew louder. Ionia's rivers ran with blood, and the once peaceful land was filled with the screams of my people. I danced with the blades, each strike a call for freedom, each step an act of defiance, but even I could feel the weight of the war pressing down on us. The Noxian forces were too large, too strong. "Hold the line," I shouted to my comrades, even as my blade cut through the air, meeting Noxian steel. But every victory felt temporary, like a fleeting shadow in the dark. I had never known such a brutal force. They came at us from every side, relentless. Shen's calm leadership was what kept us going, but even he could not deny the toll this war was taking on our spirit. The Kinku order was stretched thin, but I could not afford to think about that now. I had to fight, or my people would fall.
The war raged on for months. Irelia, Shen, and the defenders of Ionia fought valiantly, but the Noxian army pressed them at every turn. As Swain sought the heart of Ionia's power, Zed, leader of the Order of Shadows, saw an opportunity in the chaos.
The Kinku order was weak. Shen's failure would be my success. I watched from the shadows, waiting for the moment to strike. I had never cared for Shen's idealism, his need to keep the balance of the land. But now, with Ionia's defenses crumbling under Nox's weight, I saw my chance. I gathered my followers, and we struck at the heart of the Kinku order, tearing through their ranks in the chaos. They were distracted. Shen was distracted. I would be the one to carve my own path in this land of broken dreams. The balance is nothing but chains, I whispered, as the shadows surrounded me. It's time for Ionia to rise in darkness, not light.
In the end, the war ended not with a great battle, but with the weariness of a land that had been torn apart. Noxus had achieved its goal. Ionia's spirit blossoms were harvested, the magic of the land taken. Yet it was not a complete victory. Swain had underestimated the spirit of the Ionian people. While the land was scarred, the soul of Ionia could not be so easily broken. Shen and his order would rebuild. The defenders would rise again. But the price had been steep.
The land is scarred, but it is not lost. The war is over. Ionia is in ruins, but we will rise from the ashes. There is no peace for the wounded, only the promise of tomorrow. Noxus may have claimed our magic, but they will never possess our spirit. We will heal. We must heal. The balance has been shattered, but we will rebuild it. I swear it on my very soul.
And so, the war ended. The Noxian Invasion of Ionia was a tragedy that altered the course of the land forever. Swain may have claimed a tactical victory, but the price was heavy. The Ionian spirit was not so easily broken. As the dust settled, one thing was clear. The war may have ended, but the struggle for Ionia's soul was far from over.